It's November 7th, 2007, and you're being indicted in federal court for allegedly lying before a grand jury. 4 years earlier, you had went under oath and never told the grand jury never knowingly you used steroids or human growth hormones. Just 3 months before that, you were named the home run king, beating out Hank Aaron's MLB all-time home run record of 755 home runs. Just a short 3 months, and now you're facing 11 felony federal charges. In 2011, after the government has spent almost $10 million trying to prove your guilt, they bust you on one count of obstruction of justice and give you 30 days house arrest. I guess to Hall of Fame voters, that obstruction of justice charge is like saying you took steroids, because in my personal opinion, the best player to ever play the game just missed getting in the Hall of Fame, and missed, by missed, I mean wasn't even close. Because he needs 75% of the Hall of Fame votes, the Hall of Fame committee voters, to vote for him, and he only got 36.6%. In this speech, I'm going to tell you why Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. I honestly hate to say that because I'm a Dodgers fan. I hate the Giants, and I don't like Barry Bonds. I played college baseball in the early 2000s at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. I know all about steroids. There were steroids at the University of Kearney. I've got my hands on steroids. So basically, in this speech, I'm gonna tell you Barry Bonds, pre-steroid allegations, Barry Bonds after steroid allegations, which occurred around 1998, and then honestly the media with his steroid allegations. Barry's dad was a former All-Star MLB player. Got called up to the Giants 4 years after Barry was born. His grandfather is Willie Mays, who, in my personal opinion, I think Barry Bonds is the best player of all time. I think Willie Mays is second. In high school, Barry Bonds hit .404. He started his sophomore year through senior year at one of the biggest biggest classes in California. He was drafted out of high school, second round by the Giants. He decided to turn that down, which you don't see a lot of high school kids doing. Second round pick in the baseball draft, that's a rich kid. But instead, he turned it down. He went to Arizona State, where 3 years in a row he was all Pac-10 selection. He ended his college career with a .347 batting average, 45 home runs, and 175 RBIs. The Pirates drafted him in 1985 with their first round choice. He reached the majors the following season, which you don't see that anymore unless the player is truly gifted. Usually it takes a couple of years in the minors. Barry Bonds was in the minor leagues for 1 year, and then he made the majors and led all rookies in 1986 with home runs 16, stolen bases 36, and RBIs 48, playing in only 113 games. The main reason why this all bothers me about Barry Bonds is the fact that everybody's like, oh, his size, he grew so big. But in 1990, he had 33 home runs. 91, 25, he won an MVP in 95. I meant in 91. In 92, he had 34 home runs, another MVP. 92, he left the Pirates to become the highest paid player in baseball history at that time, signing with the Giants for 6 years, $43.75 million. He went on that next season in 1993 to hit 46 home runs. Another MVP award. 94, 37 home runs. 95, 33 home runs. 96, 42 home runs. 97, 40 home runs. 98 was when the steroid allegations began. That's when they said he started taking steroids to keep up with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa because they had that big run. But in 98, he only had 37 home runs. 99, 34. 2,049 home runs. I kind of just added that into the pre-steroid deal just to give you an idea. So, his numbers were unreal. He had 8 Golden Gloves during this span, which goes to the best defensive player at their position, basically. He was a 7-time All-Pro, 14-time All-Pro in his career. MVP 3 out of 4 years during that time stretch. And then now I'm going to tell you about after the allegations, what happened to his career. Well, again, like I said, 98 was when they said that he started taking them. There's no proof of it. But like 98, 37 home runs, 99, 34, 2000, 49 home runs, 01, 73 home runs. Huge year, breaks the single season record for home runs a year. You know, this, if he wouldn't have broke this record, he'd be in the Hall of Fame right now. Like, this is the only reason why any of these allegations go against him. Because the next year, which was still a steroid year, he hit 46 home runs. But the year after that, testing was in Major League Baseball, he hits 45 home runs. Hits 341 batting average. Next year, 45 home runs. 362 batting average. At age 41, he hits 26 home runs. And at age 42, he hits 28 home runs. And in my honest opinion, if it wouldn't have been for the media and all the speculation and like just draining this man, it's kind of like everybody was on him, calling him guilty. I think he would have still just killed the ball, because his best seasons were the first 2 years that testing was around ever. And it's truly a shame that they put such a high deal on him when it was all just speculation. Like I said, Bonds was never suspended any games for testing positive for PhDs and has never admitted to any guilt to taking any PhDs. The only test that showed his guilt was a Balco test, which was never supposed to even get out in the public view. It was with client-patient privileges. It was supposed to be never leaked, and it was. But then, an article in Sports Illustrated about the Balco scandal talks about how the CEO of Balco basically said that everybody that was tested at their facility they were just a number. You know, like Barry Bonds' signature is not on anything, so they actually have no proof that which test was his and which test wasn't. So it's hard to prove guilt by that. That's the only thing he has. Okay, yeah, his head got bigger, but I mean, anybody in their mid-30s, say if they were in shape to their mid-30s, is gonna put on weight. And lastly, I want to talk about the media. And I hate to do this, but I got an article right here by John Heyman by SI.com. John Heyman and me talk on Twitter every once in a while, and his first line, it cracks me up, his first line of this deal says, Barry Bonds doesn't belong in jail, he belongs in the Hall of Fame. And this was written right after he was sentenced for his obstruction deal in April 14th, 2011. Because me and John Heyman, just a week ago, he said he couldn't vote when Barry Bonds didn't make the Hall of Fame. He said he couldn't vote for Barry Bonds because of steroid allegations. And I called him out and said that it was ridiculous. And he wrote me back. He's just like, he just couldn't get over the fact that, but here a year ago, he says that Barry Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame. And that's the thing, is it's the media. Like, I almost feel like it's a Lance Armstrong effect. Lance Armstrong pleaded innocence for 10, 12 years. And now this week he's about to say he was guilty on the Oprah show. Because he's tired of it. He's tired of dealing with it. And I hope they don't do that to Barry Bonds. Like, say, hey, if you plead guilty, you will put you in the Hall of Fame. Because Pete Rose, you know what, pleaded innocent for 26 years for betting on baseball. And then when he finally said that he did bet on baseball, they still haven't allowed him in the Hall of Fame. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But this is just a prime example of what the media does to things. I just don't understand. You look through his numbers, and he's the most consistent player in baseball history. 500 home runs, 500 stolen bases, only guy to ever do that. First guy to go 40-40, 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases in a season. Years of hitting 370, 361. It wasn't enough. All because he hit 73 home runs, and the media blew it up. They drive me crazy because they hound these guys. Like right now, during the Hall of Fame election deal, Barry Bonds was in Maui, so he could be away from it all. But all right, in closing, I honestly, after everything's been said, I truly do believe Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer, and that's even if he did take performance-enhancing drugs, which my personal belief is I do believe he did take PhDs, performance-enhancing drugs. but there's a lack of proof, and simply they have no evidence to back this up. I mean, they tried, they failed. I mean, they wasted $10 million of our money. With the lack of proof, he's simply so good his entire career that he belongs in the Hall of Fame. The guy, without a doubt, was a Hall of Famer the first time he put on his cleats and walked out of the dugout as a Pirate. He was honestly already a Hall of Famer. He was that rare talent. He was the King Griffey Jr. talent, Alex Rodriguez talent, where the kid just had it. I mean, honestly, he was a Hall of Famer pre-allegations, post-allegations, and he's still a Hall of Famer today. Thanks for listening.